financial gap between the Premier League and the rest of the pyramid would become so profoundly unbridgeable that clubs would eventually gamble their entire institutional sovereignty just to cross the threshold. Years before the English Football League witnessed a chaotic scramble for top-flight survival, Arsène Wenger issued a stark economic warning to the footballing world. The media calls it the Championship Playoff Final, the richest game in world football. But in the cold ledgers of modern sports business, this isn't a football match. It's a high-stakes corporate liquidation event where a single kicked ball determines whether a club secures a massive multi-year liquidity injection or falls off a devastating financial cliff. But what exactly is the true anatomy of this massive cash injection? This brings us to rank number 3, the golden ticket illusion. There is a massive commercial myth that the moment a club wins promotion at Wembley, the owner walks into the dressing room with a literal briefcase stuffed with £200 million in cold hard cash. In reality, that headline figure is a slow-burning, highly restricted broadcast contract, and the moment you touch it, you walk straight into a liquidity trap. The vast majority of that jackpot isn't a trophy purse handed over at the final whistle. It is structured out of guaranteed domestic and international TV rights revenue, commercial sponsorships, and hyperinflated matchday hospitality. When a club crosses that threshold, their baseline broadcast revenue instantly rockets from a miserable £10 million crumbs package in the Championship to a mandatory £100 million top-flight monopoly. But don't mistake a massive cash injection for an economic clean sheet. The second that television money hits the ledger, global predatory agencies and elite agents launch a coordinated liquidity counterattack. They know your club is flush with capital, which means your incoming transfer targets instantly face a 200% luxury tax, and player wage demands will threaten to push your operational costs into a total tailspin. If a newly promoted board doesn't execute pristine creative accounting stepovers, the golden ticket doesn't save your club. It simply finances a reckless spending spree that guarantees immediate balance sheet bankruptcy. You aren't buying freedom, you are buying an expensive lease on a ticking financial time bomb. Rank number 2 exposes the ultimate macroeconomic cheat code in English football, the parachute payment system. For the clubs who fail to survive the top-flight gauntlet, relegation isn't just a sporting disaster. It triggers a massive financial substitution, swapping out elite matchday revenue for a state-sanctioned financial cushion. To prevent relegated teams from facing immediate structural liquidation due to heavy Premier League wage bills, the system guarantees them roughly £100 million distributed over the following seasons. In the raw ledger of the Championship, this isn't just a safety net. It is an unfair set-piece advantage that completely distorts the competitive landscape. While organic Championship clubs are forced to survive on shoestring budgets, relegated teams parachute back down with a massive unfair war chest. They can hoard elite talent, maintain premium wage structures, and launch an immediate promotional counterattack. But this heavy insulation has called down a massive offside flag from the rest of the Football League. Independent regulators and rival executives are openly warning that these payments create an elite, a closed-loop monopoly, artificially pricing the rest of the pyramid completely out of the market. It's no longer about who has the best tactical system on the pitch. It's about who holds the biggest structural insurance policy in the bank. Finally, we arrive at rank number 1, the gambler's ruin, the absolute dark side of the £200 million obsession. What happens to the clubs that chase the dream, over-leverage their entire fiscal sovereignty, and completely miss the target? This is where the beautiful game hits a brutal, unforgiving financial cliff. When owners execute reckless, high-risk spending sprees to chase the Wembley jackpot, they aren't just investing capital, they are gambling the very survival of their institution on a knife edge. If you hit the jackpot, you are a visionary. But if you fall short, the market shows absolutely zero mercy. We have watched historic institutions like Derby County and Reading drop their entire economic clean sheets into a total tailspin. They overspend on predatory player contracts, bank everything on a promotion that never arrives, and suddenly find themselves facing an immediate asset liquidation. When the funding dries up, there is no late equalizer from the bank to save you. The league steps in, slaps the board with a massive points deduction, and forces the club into administration. The £200 million final isn't just a gateway to glory, it is an economic meat grinder that eats desperate clubs alive, proving that in the modern game, the cost of losing the gamble is total institutional extinction. But the ripple effect of this £200 million jackpot doesn't stop at the stadium gates. It triggers a massive macroeconomic transformation across the entire local city. Securing promotion to the top flight is like a struggling local economy pulling off a world-class tactical substitution, replacing lower-tier anonymity with a flood of global capital. Suddenly, the local tourism sector launches a massive liquidity counterattack. Away fans from global megaclubs flood the local hotels, bars, and transport links, pumping millions of pounds of weekend revenue directly into the city's concrete infrastructure. Concurrently, the board is forced to execute a massive stadium upgrade, to meet international broadcast standards, creating hundreds of local corporate jobs and turning a regional sporting asset into a global commercial hub. This isn't just a sports victory, it's a citywide economic stimulus package that drives local real estate and commercial sponsorships straight through the roof. The sporting world will always choose to romanticize the 95th minute winners, the pitch invasions and the tears of joy on the Wembley grass. But the true architecture of modern football operates far beneath the surface, behind the closed mahogany doors of the executive boardrooms. As Arsène Wenger warned us, when the financial chasm between glory and extinction becomes this wide, the beautiful game stops being a sport. It becomes a ruthless corporate war room where managers deploy literal spy rings and owners risk total institutional liquidation just to get a seat at the billionaire's table. In this game, there is no late equalizer to protect a reckless board from its own balance sheet. You either manage the capital with absolute precision, or you watch your historic club fall off the ultimate financial cliff. The whistle is blown, the ledgers are locked, and the modern football machine keeps on rolling.